The following presentation has been approved by the Aleinu Halachic Advisory Board. Danger lurks in the deepest, darkest corners of the world. Dangerous predators, graphic imagery, and addictive pursuits are waiting to tempt your children. Would you let your child talk to a stranger, watch explicit pornography, gamble in a casino, or go window shopping at a brothel? Well, that's exactly what many of them do on the internet. You may think we're trying to scare you. Well, we are. You have no idea of how bad it really is. No one is immune. No one is safe. Do you know what your child is doing on the internet? 1,000 Jewish students in Los Angeles responded to our anonymous questionnaire about their internet habits. Their shocking responses will stun you. A full 60% of the children admitted their parents were unaware of what they were doing on the net. Look at the person next to you. One of you is being misled by your child. Which one of you is it? You're going to hear real stories from our children in the Los Angeles Jewish community. Everything you will hear is true. Nothing is made up. Everything is real.
Parents really have no idea what their kids are doing on the internet. I mean, for example, we don't have internet connection in this house, in this room, but I have Wi-Fi right here because my neighbor has it, so I can hook that up. My parents actually have no idea.
My parents think that I'm doing my homework, but I'm really on the internet talking to my friends, on websites.
People wonder how our kids in our communities, they have girlfriends, they're doing drugs, they're smoking, they're drinking. Where do these things come from? How do these kids learn? I don't want to say that it's all on the internet, but 95% of it is probably on the internet. All of these problems, they can start off by one click on the internet.
People do talk about this at school. And they tell kids, other kids that have no idea about this website, hey, go to this website. It's so funny. You have to check it out. So then the boys check it out, and it's not funny. It's bad.
If you have a teenager on the internet, I mean, he could go on for good reason, but if this kid can't control himself, and if no one's around, he'll probably end up doing stuff bad. It doesn't matter what background the person's from. It could be from a yeshivish background, a modern background. If they're by a computer by themselves, the chances that they'll go on a bad website is pretty high.
So easy to just say, oh, I'm doing homework. And, you hear the keyboard clicking, and you think, great, my kid's doing their English essay. Not like accessing a porn site.
Warning, 30% of the children surveyed admitted to checking out pornography regularly.
I'm 15 years old, and when I'm on a regular website, I'm just searching through the web, doing some research, and all of a sudden, I get a pop-up, and it'll be porn.
I think it's a pretty young age for a 10-year-old to see pictures like that. Two bad websites that you shouldn't go on are I'll buy sheep and gops.com. It's very simple to find these things on the web. That's why you have to be extra careful. All you have to do is you could go to Google and just type whatever. You click on it and there it is. You can get to really bad sites just with a push of a button. These show pictures of not really like peekaboo kissing, but people making out with no clothes on, and private parts of people. When you see a picture like that, it could stick with you forever.
It's so easy to accidentally get onto one of these sites, and I'm sure most kids the first time don't do it intentionally, but once you see it the first time, the image is there. It kind of gets like printed on your mind, and maybe the next time you see it, it'll take a second, or it won't be so shocking, so you'll kind of look at it a second time. And kids don't start out as porn addicts, but it's interesting. It's different. It's something that they don't see, that's taboo, and here they have full access to it, and their parents don't know, and no one can see them, and it's kind of exciting.
You can type in apple. You can type in anything. Type in anything. Type in Jewish girl. You will find some site that advertises Jewish pornography.
Kids, men, have desires, have needs that are fulfilled. Some control them and some don't. Some control them until they're exposed to certain things. And once they're exposed to that, that's it. They have too much of a taiva for it. They have too much of a drawing towards it that they can't control themselves.
People think that it's just the bad kids who are looking at porn, but really, it's just an ordinary kid who's looking at porn.
No one's really old enough ever to see the things that are on the internet. It's disgusting. It was one of the most graphic, disgusting porn sites I've ever seen. And you click to close it, and you click to close it, and more things just keep popping up, but you can't close it fast enough, and it's just in your face. And I mean, it's disgusting, but there's kind of that like attraction, and it's kind of intriguing, you know, if you've never seen something like that.
We don't have internet in our house. A kid gets a hold of $5, could walk to the corner and go to an internet cafe. Give the guy $5 and sit on the internet for an hour. It happens all the time. They'll go. 12-year-old, 13-year-old, they'll go. They'll explore, they'll do whatever it takes.
Bottom line is, I know yeshivish kids, and I know very modern kids that go on porn sites. So if you think that your kid is too yeshivish, then you're in denial, and don't be surprised later on if you find out that your kid's a porn addict. That's all I have to say.
The people in the technological world will say, look at where the world has come to today, amazing. With the click of a button away, you can access anything. In the Jewish world, it's look at where the world has come to. With a click of a button, you can access anything.
Warning. 71% of our children are actively spending time in internet chat rooms, specifically MySpace.com. 150 of them said that a stranger had tried to develop a relationship with them.
People waste a lot of time on the internet. And my number one reason would probably be MySpace.
So most kids do MySpace. It's become huge in, I know at least like Jewish schools with camp and my school, the school I go to, it's just like everyone does it. And it's this forum where kids fill in all this information about themselves, and you know, they'll fill out questionnaires and they'll put up pictures. You know, girls will get together and dress up just to take pictures to put on MySpace. And you know, they'll do it. It's an attention getter. So they'll wear, you know, provocative clothing, and you know, it's a way to call attention to yourself.
There are girls from families who I'm not, you know, obviously because MySpace doesn't allow it, but they're doing, you know, putting themselves at a point where they're at that borderline, you know, between naked and not naked. You know, what's censored, what's not, and what's not censored.
They're alone in their room. They want company. They want attention. So they're reaching out, you know, and they're on these chat rooms, and they meet this really nice person, and it's really exciting. And then the relationship develops, and you know, eventually they want to go meet this person, and then you just hear these really scary stories.
For some girls, it's like if they're a little insecure about themselves, whatever it is, it's a huge turn on. Some guy, random guy, just thinks you're pretty, so, you know, let me go for this. One thing leads to another. He introduces her to his friends. You know, she starts hanging out. They you know, with the people that she's hanging out with are doing, you know, going to parties. You know, some of them aren't even Jewish. There's so many kids here in the community that are friends with non-Jews. You know, I mean, teenagers are teenagers. You know, sometimes they don't think so smartly, and that's what happens.